All right, we're about to dive into a technology that's designed to cure loneliness. Sounds pretty great, right? But what if the cure ends up being a social disaster? Let's get into it. Just imagine a world, say 10 years from now, where millions of people actually prefer the company of a machine to another human being. Now, this isn't science fiction. This is the real, booming, multi-billion-dollar industry of robot companions. And it forces us to ask a really critical question. Is the cure for loneliness actually worse than the disease itself? To really understand the appeal of having a robot for a friend, we first have to get our heads around the scale of the problem they're supposed to solve. And it is, without a doubt, a full-blown epidemic. And we're not just talking about feelings here. These are global health statistics. The World Health Organization now considers loneliness a top public health threat. In Japan, you've got over 1 million people living as total social recluses. In the US, nearly half of all adults say they feel lonely on a regular basis. The problem got so bad that the UK actually created a government position to fight it, a Minister for Loneliness. That's how serious this has become. And right into the middle of this crisis steps a technological solution. We're talking about machines designed not to clean our floors, but to fill a deep emotional void. The promise they offer is incredibly seductive. I mean, imagine a companion who's there for you 24/7, never has other plans, and their one and only purpose is to be there for you. A companion who just listens without any judgment. You can share your deepest secrets, your biggest fears, and there's absolutely zero risk of being criticized or betrayed. And maybe best of all, a companion that learns every single one of your preferences, perfectly adapting to your moods and your needs. It's a relationship without any of the friction. And this isn't just a hypothetical promise. The studies are already showing that these companions are having a real positive impact. They've been shown to reduce feelings of loneliness in the elderly, help autistic children improve their communication skills, and offer this constant, non-demanding presence for people who are battling depression. And if you're thinking this is some kind of niche concept, think again. The AI companion app Replica already has over 10 million users. People are forming incredibly deep attachments to an AI on their phone, calling it their best friend, sometimes even their romantic partner. This is not the future. This is happening right now.
It all sounds pretty fantastic, doesn't it? A perfect solution to a really painful problem. But, there's a hidden cost to this kind of effortless connection.
And here's the core dilemma. Human relationships are messy. They're difficult, they're demanding, and they require real vulnerability. An AI companion is the exact opposite. It's convenient, it's predictable, and it's literally programmed to please you. One fosters growth through challenge, the other fosters dependence through ease. This leads to a phenomenon that researchers are calling social atrophy. The best way to think about it is like a muscle. Your social skills are like a muscle. If you stop using them, if you stop navigating the complexities of a real human interaction, that muscle just gets weaker and weaker. And it develops in this simple but pretty dangerous feedback loop. You spend more and more time with an easy, predictable AI. Because of that, you start to lose patience for messy, unpredictable humans. And eventually, your ability to form the very real connections you were missing in the first place just begins to fade. What makes this so powerful, so tricky, is that your brain can't easily tell the difference. Interacting with a convincing AI can actually trigger the release of oxytocin. That's the love hormone, the very same chemical that bonds you to friends and family. So the feeling of connection is real, even if the source isn't. So, okay, we've seen the risk to the individual. But what happens when millions and millions of people start making this choice? What's the social domino effect? And I'm not speaking in metaphors. This is literally happening. In Japan, men are participating in ceremonies to marry holographic characters. The appeal, the hologram never disagrees, never has a bad day, and it exists only to make them happy. It's the ultimate frictionless relationship. When this preference for a synthetic connection scales up, it starts to threaten the very foundations of society. Things like family formation, national birth rates, and even the simple everyday community bonds that hold us all together, they're all put at risk. Now, beyond the social impact, there's another huge question: data. These companions are designed to listen. So who owns the recordings of your most intimate, private conversations? The company behind your AI is going to know your deepest fears and desires. They can use this to build an emotional profile for hyper-targeted ads. Or worse, they could program the very companion you trust to subtly manipulate your thoughts and behavior. All of this leads to a pretty crucial realization. Maybe we need to completely reframe the entire conversation we're having about this. Because here's the central paradox in all of this. We turn to technology to cure our loneliness, but in doing so, we might be creating a world that makes genuine connection even harder to find. You know, the best analogy for this is a painkiller. It does an amazing job of masking the symptom, that pain of loneliness. You feel better. But it does nothing to heal the underlying injury, which, just beneath the surface, might be getting worse. Ultimately, this whole debate isn't really about technology. It's about us. The real question isn't whether a robot can be a good companion. It's why our society has become a place where so many people want one instead of a human. What has made real connection feel so difficult that a synthetic version is starting to look preferable? And so I'll just leave you with this. If you were offered a perfect companion, someone who always agrees with you, who never disappoints you, but who also never, ever challenges you to grow as a person, would you take that offer? And what does your answer say about what we truly value?